Yeah.
Yeah.
Atlanta Hawks. I think that this team, to your surprise, Pete, I think that they're going to be a lottery bound team.
Oh my God, are you
Whoa.
serious, Bernie? Are you serious?
My caveat here, and here's the caveat. I think they're going to trade Trae Young.
Whoa.
Bernie, are you trolling? Bro, you're trolling. Stop it.
I'm trolling. No, I think it's going to be a mid off for them. It's definitely going to be a mid off for them. I think the biggest thing and to me for the Hawks is they have good pieces. Trae Young does his thing, but I just don't know. I think that there is some things brewing for the Hawks of a Trae Young being disgruntled in Atlanta. I'm not saying he's going to get traded, but to me, I just feel like with the way that this roster is and the way that Trae Young plays, and I know that Quinn Snyder does really good with kind of those smaller guards, like a Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if it's going to keep Trae Young happy. That's kind of my opinion on this.
This might be a stretch of a reference, but Bernie, in some weird sense, when you said that, I was thinking about that era of Kanye's music when he put out what's that album called? The one he made in Montana, the one with the mountains. It's called Yay, I think, right? It's like when he like just back and forth, kind of all over the place, switching up on a dime. And I just think of that first song. He's like, I thought about killing you today. That's like you with the Atlanta Hawks. It's like you're just all over the place with this team. You can't make up your mind. You're back and forth. I agree with your final sentiment. I think that this is a mid-off team. Dude, they're just chemistry problems all over the place that have not been addressed. Like all the same stuff that was there last season. Like you're not convincing me that John Collins was the problem. There's just no way that that's the case, right? So
was the problem.
his lumpy finger that he broke 3 years ago was the issue that was making everybody mad. No, there's just a ton of ego on this team, man.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to convince me that Trae Young is a great locker room guy. I see so many people trying to argue about that online. Like, why is Trae Young not on the FIBA team? Like people overblow his chemistry problems. It's just, bad marketing in terms of like contractual stuff by these GMs and stuff. It's like, no, man. People don't like this dude all the time. He gets in arguments with people all the time. He's gotten 2 coaches fired in only a few years. Then you're not even talking about DeJounte Murray, who seems like a nightmare of a person to deal with. I don't know the guy. I've rooted for him since he was in high school because he's a local guy. That being said,
Agreed.
he seems like an issue to deal with. And I do
Also
think
agreed.
that if you're trying to win, you can't have too many of those guys, and they can't be your 2 best players. So, I think that this team is like a losing streak away from having to blow it up. So, Bernie, I'm not opposed to Trae getting traded this season. I don't think that's crazy. I just actually think they would probably move DeJounte Murray as soon as his contract is available to be traded. I actually think that that's more logical for them, just because like we were talking about, you guys were very like anti LaMelo being traded a little, to a certain extent. Like I think that that's the same situation for Trae, but amped up. Like Atlanta loves Trae Young. I don't think they want to get rid of him, just in the sense that he brings in a bunch of people, no matter if they're good or bad. So, I really don't like this team in a lot of ways, but they do have a lot of talent. Like that's the thing. Even like guys like Sadiq Bey, Okongwu is mad underrated. He is wildly underappreciated. Yeah, just so underappreciated for his skill set. One of the better defenders like in the league per people talking about him as a defender. Like it's just he doesn't get nearly enough talk in that regard. Like, do you think Quinn Snyder's a good enough coach to turn this around, Bernie?
He's gonna need to. I think he's good enough to at least maybe get them fighting for a play-in spot.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think that with. I think just good enough for a play-in spot. Like I think he's a decent coach, but
he's a good schematic coach for sure.
Yeah, but like you said, I think with the way that this roster's chemistry is, it's hard to beat that sometimes as a You can have all the plays you want, but it's hard to figure out what works when chemistry is an issue.
And I said this last season when they hired him mid-season. Like, the dude lost to Utah's locker room with Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Like, he's gonna, restrain Trae Young and DeJounte Murray's ego. He couldn't do it with Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. I just don't see that. I think that's a big ask.
Yeah.
I would say I feel like.
No, go ahead.
Oh wait.
Sorry.
Yeah, my bad. But I was just gonna say. I feel like they have good young talent on this team, and I see like the makings of a good team around Trae Young. And their biggest issue is the fit between Trae and DeJounte. Like they gave up all those picks, for DeJounte, and it's just DeJounte's not an off-ball player. Like I remember thinking that when they made the trade, you can't make him an off-ball player. His best version of himself is being a point guard on the ball.
Yep.
I think he was one. Like I don't know if you guys like follow this page on Twitter, but it's a basketball like stats page, and the Hawks had StatMuse, and the Hawks had they give him a grade of A through F or whatever, and the Hawks had like the worst spacing in the league last year, and John Collins was obviously a big part of that, but DeJounte is a bigger part of that. He's playing 30 minutes a night and can't hit threes, so it's just. I think it's more like the fit between them. Like the chemistry is definitely a thing, and DeJounte is definitely a head case. But I think the on-court fit between Trae and DeJounte is just impossible. It's like Darius and Donovan.
And I would say you're underselling Trae's impact on off-ball movement too. I mean, he is an abomination as far as off-ball movement. Trae Young,
true. Yeah,
he refuses to do anything off-ball. And that I've said that for years, Bernie. I'm sure I sound like a broken record with Trae, but I will never be like all the way in on him until he treats his game a little bit more like Steph Curry's. He doesn't need to be Steph Curry, but you have to do something to impact the defense on offense if you don't have the ball. You have to do just about anything. Just move your feet a little bit. And especially if you're supposed to be this, elite three-point shooter, which he's not. I'm sorry, people. Like, you have to go look at this guy statistically. Like, his three-point shot is not elite. Trae. He's a good shooter, but he's not elite. But he does not move as if he is like the greatest shooter on God's green earth. He is not. So there's all sorts of problems. I'm genuinely curious to see what their offense, like what sets they run. I'm really, really intrigued to see what Quinn Snyder does, because like he is a good coach schematically. It's more, is he going to actually get Trae and DeJounte to buy into it at all? I just don't think that's the case, but I'm interested to see.